Ага, такс. Первым у нас будет показывать карту BoneyPlatypus. Показывать карту он будет вместе с двумя его друзьями. Да, там розыгрыш, в общем, много-много призов, и с каким-то шансом можно выиграть. В общем, если хочется определенный приз, то нужно задонатить на определенную сумму, не меньше определенной суммы, и уже там разыгрывается между задонатившими, кто этот приз заберет. Так, вот да, у нас первая карта получается пролета через кольца. Насколько я понимаю, карты показывать нам будут только на геймпадах, потому что управлять машинкой легче всего на геймпаде.
Extremely exciting. Now, this is going to look a lot different. I want to quickly explain to people before we get into this. There's a lot of small mechanics we'll explain as we go and we'll have the runners explain them. But this looks different than what most of you probably expect from Rocket League. These are workshop maps available.
В общем, машину в воздухе можно крутить вокруг своей оси во всех направлениях. Опять же, как было сказано, можно подлетать с использованием, в общем, набирать высоту с использованием нитро.
Don't want to hit the ball right now. I want to work on my freestyle and I want to work on my air control. These maps can do that. A bunch of these maps got a little more popular than others, and people started trying to beat them as fast as possible. Thus, the speedrunning community was starting to build on these. They started to focus in on specific maps and say, we want to do this. Eventually expanded further than that, but some got more popular than others. And I think we're going to start off with a classic here. This is one of the ones that,
Потому что эту карту, как я понимаю, будут проходить не как обычные игроки, скажем так, а с использованием каких-то специфических скипов получается. Ну, в общем, начинаем.
Yeah, so as you were kind of coming to a close, I just decided to start because the beginning doesn't have a whole lot. Coming up right here, we do have a jump that I have a second and a half in order to use that flip.
Наша машинка умеет прыгать, как я говорил, разворачиваться вокруг своей оси, и если использовать нитро, то мы можем набирать высоту.
Yeah, there's I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've hit the reset button just in any of these maps.
Просто пролетаем все кольца.
For me, it's almost every 3 seconds. Because there's a flaw almost every 3 seconds. Like, even going through the yellow rings is harder. But what's cool about this is it's a physics-based game.
Ну да, выглядит довольно легко, но...
One specifically there, I like to point out is that flip that you just did going through. Anytime you flip while you're in the air, it cancels all vertical momentum. You're going to see that mechanic used through a lot of these different maps to make sure that the runners can stay on target and don't go flying off. Because it's physics. It's a new physics that you're not used to. And if you've never played Rocket League, it's hard to really understand why.
На самом ГДК рофлят по поводу самой физики в игре. Она довольно странная.
Another flip that you hold on to for a lot longer, right?
Во время полета мы можем также использовать двойной прыжок и переворачивать машину.
Than $20,000 away from meeting 1 million and seeing ThundaSurge do his stuff with 50 balls. Let's get it happening, everybody.
Ну, сперва нам будут показывать не особо, скажем так, получается сложные карты. Он немного стукнулся, застрял, но, в принципе, ладно, неплохо. Да, да, да. В игре можно центрировать камеру. И машина так много поворачивается. Также в картах, где у нас будут присутствовать мячик, у нас есть два типа камеры. Первая вот камера просто позади свободная, а вторая камера с направлением на сам этот мячик. Все-таки пришлось точку ресетнуть.
You typically save about a half second on that, but I've had some really good bounces that have saved possibly a second and a half or more.
Вот, кстати, про шутки спидранов доты тут не надо. У нас очень много в русском комьюнити людей, которые спидранили доту. Ну, собственно, это у нас была первая карта.
Absolutely. Yeah, he pretty much invented the whole route. I did see in chat real quick that people wanted both me to pet my dog. Come here, bud. And his name is Banjo, for those that were asking.
All right, if we don't jump to 1 million after
Представляют нам свою собачечку.
All right, can you get down? Can you get down? Thank you. Good boy. All right. Yeah, I think that's it from me. Shout outs to, Leaf and Plum for the comms, and then also all of the other runners.
Ну, это у нас шоу-кейс, то есть показывают разные карты, то есть это была, получается, карта от BoneyPlatypus. То есть, получается, он одну показывал.
It'll happen. But what's cool about this, we have a bunch of maps to get through, chat. That's not it. We're here for a bit.
Да, следующим у нас идет ранее Jimingo.
To really showcase how mechanical this game is really getting. You're seeing it really push the competitive scene as well, and a lot of these players and the freestyling scene, and we get to see it here, of course, in the speedrunning scene. So we're going to try to jump to another skill, Plamato. This one's a little bit different coming up.
So this one's going to be the Dribble Challenge 2 map. It's any of you who have played it in the past, like probably pre-2019, you're probably not recognizing it a little bit. This is the overhaul version of it. What it did is fix a lot of
сейчас говорят, что эта карта, она, в общем, какая-то старая версия ее, то есть сейчас получается, в воркшопе есть более новая, но мы будем, нам будут показывать ее старую версию.
Jimingo. I'm going to be running the Dribble Challenge 2. So the main goal for this is... Oh, my bad. I'm Jimingo. I'm going to be running the Dribble Challenge 2. As Lumato said. So the main goal for this is the ball will fall through this track ground here, and we want to get it to the end of each level through the gate. And we want to get it through all of them since it's 100%. So I'm going to hit the timer here. I'm going to be doing a lot of flicks like that. I want to get the ball at the nose of my car to keep it as fast as I can.
В общем, нам нужно, получается, донести мяч до ворот. Каждый раз у нас дорога, по которой мы должны донести этот мяч, усложняется. Не получилось. Вот, кстати, мы можем забивать мячи с противоположной стороны от ворот. Получается.
The physics of Rocket League are a little bit different, and you have to get used to those. You have to understand it, and you don't have the three-dimensional.
Физика в игре, как уже было много раз отмечено, довольно странно работает, но
how hard it is to develop a lot of these mechanics. Even just dribbling, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a very long time just to keep the ball on top of my car.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to wrap your head around when you first start.
Сейчас нам нужно забить мяч, подлетев, так как ворота стоят высоко, не на земле.
The ball is very weird. Yeah.
That's one thing about
non-stop.
You're doing so many calculations at once because you're
Тут уже начинаются всякие ловушки движущиеся, что могут нас столкнуть вместе с мячом.
And the way the ball actually interacts on top of the car is really interesting. But what I do want to talk first about is this map in general. This is one of the first, at least from my perspective, one of the first maps that people really took off on. This was Dribbling Challenge 2, made popular, of course, by French Fries, and then credits to Digby and Martin as well. But this was one of the first.
В общем, опять же, толкаем мяч по воздуху. В принципе, вся карта основана на том, чтобы донести мяч до ворот. Но сделано это все довольно интересно. В большинстве мест раннер сокращает место прямо по воздуху, чтобы не нарываться по всякие ловушки там. Что довольно интересно выглядит.
And pinch it off the starting platform, and it would pinch directly into the top, and that would be time. And then they, before they found that out though, they had level 12 pinch, where you'd make it to level 12 and do that exact same thing. Additionally, on level 16, where you kind of air dribble it up a little bit, people were able to air dribble it from there to level 27, skipping a lot of the map on that.
Он, походу, упал с мячом, и нас откинуло назад. Ага, то есть если мяч слишком сильно упадет, то у него, в общем, есть какое-то количество хп, и если он упадет слишком сильно, то нам придется... Нет, все же нам нужно, похоже, не отпускать мяч от себя далеко. И если он далеко от нас находится и падает на землю, то у нас ресетает самое начало карты. Ну да, тащить машины мяч, в принципе, да. В общем, ситуация в том, что Кустас, который знает про эту игру много больше меня, он, в общем, не смог комментировать сейчас. А я оказался самым, скажем так, свободным из всех комментаторов. Так что я сейчас наравне с вами пытаюсь понять, что происходит, и откомментировать хоть как-то. Ну, пытаемся. Не получилось донести мяч до ворот забить. Довольно сложно, кстати, забить, я так понимаю, почти по прямому углу мяч в ворота. Так что мы сейчас пойдем все-таки, наверное, да. Пойдем, как задумывались картоделами.
I'll try and land here. Yeah, you got this. I jinxed it. Computer started there.
That's a nice jump over, though. I mean, that kills a lot of time, and you see how much min-maxing a lot of players will go through just to shave off a few seconds.
I'd like to mention as well, the current world record for this is by a user named Alexit. He has a 5:45 time.
Тут нам добавляется еще, получается, ну как не видим полупрозрачные стены, до которых тоже, если обогнать, в общем, они у нас
It really does help
ресетнут этот
your mechanics a lot, and that does translate. I mean,
уровень.
being in second place, a professional RLCS professional player.
Да, как в чате уже отмечают, что кажется все довольно легко, но даже я, далекий от Rocket League, понимаю, что это довольно сложно повторить.
Because there's some really fun ones out there.
I thought the wall might hit me there. I had a bit of a wobble.
Yeah, there's giant red walls. We'll take them out.
Yeah. And that's a big thing. If you know, there's a start of level 13. Like, there's a lot of moving parts, and that's the rest of the map is just moving parts all the time.
Yeah, we're at the last few levels here. So these are pretty standard. No more skips really. But they are pretty scary the first time you try this.
Сейчас говорят, что вот на этом уровне никаких скипов не будет, так как здесь довольно страшно донести мяч. Поэтому мы просто медленно едем и стараемся не попасть по всяким препятствиям.
Which is essentially just a rectangle. And if the ball gets too far in front, it starts applying more force, which forces the ball off the front of the car, which makes you go faster, which speeds up the ball.
Причем мы за мячом, который сверху, в большинстве случаев просто не видим, откуда у нас ловушки, куда они, как они двигаются. То есть камера расположена, ну, скажем так, не особо-то и удобно. Ну, собственно, это у нас была вторая, получается, карта.
So again, these maps are really fun. Jimingo, how much time do you think you have in this maps alone?
Not too much, to be honest. I used it to learn how to dribble.
Yeah.
But like, it's now after coming back, being a better player, and just using the skills from Rocket League to
Даже сам Jimingo говорит, что есть люди, у которых скилл намного лучше, чем у него. Вау.
Yeah, it really is. All right, well, that was the dribbling challenge number 2. So this one, again, we first saw the rings, which is a lot of air control. Then we saw this one here, dribbling challenge, which showcased, it was one of the earlier ones that showcased a lot of that dribbling. Really good, trust me. If you have the opportunity to try it out, do it.
То есть, говорят, это была карта по, в общем, дриблинг челлендж.
Jimingo, thanks for showcasing.
Нам показали мувмент в воздухе на ней с мячом.
Rocket League Ireland and Coral, and everyone who I've met in Rocket League, they're the main communities that I'm around. I'm sure they're watching. So yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so Plamato,
передает привет всем из комьюнити Rocket League, тем, кто играет, играл или просто смотрит, я так понимаю. Следующий у нас Плумата, похоже, будет показывать карту.
He's currently the record holder for it. Blaku, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself on that?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? My name is Blaku. I like flying through rings a lot. So we're gonna be doing a lot of that for my showcase.
Раннер у нас Blaku,
go ahead and get started here.
Комментирует Плумата, FX и
what you want to do. Very tight lines that you want to take, just efficient flying.
Причем опять же пытаемся пролетать через кольца.
To do yet. But we will get to some more interesting stuff soon.
And I just want to immediately say too, this is what I love is so early.
Ну, на этот раз у нас не просто машина, а машина-самолет.
I think a lot of people that haven't played are going to say, okay, is this spinning adding anything? Maybe sort of on being able to turn faster, but a lot of this is
насколько я понимаю, в общем, поворачиваться нужно обязательно.
It's pretty fun. It keeps me engaged a little bit more too. It's a lot of straight flying. Gives me something to do during the time.
Так как поворот, он, в общем, у нас позволяет планировать чуть-чуть больше.
I do want to ask, do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Plamato. We got ourselves a $25 donation from Draco. They say in Rocket League, when you what a save your opponents, it is a way to make them tilt and win the game. So help us donate so we can make cancer leave the game once and for all by spamming. What a save. Thank you so much, Drauko. And we are less than $17,000 to meet that 1 million. If y'all are waiting for the final push out there, this is it. Get those donations in, get those trains rolling. Let's reach that million, and let's see that 50 goal incentive.
I do like the call from chat here.
В общем, ударяемся о кольца, чтобы менять направление полета, потому что не всегда можно попасть в эти самые кольца, потому что углы начинают отбросило его от стены, поэтому мы начинаем этот уровень сначала.
Yeah, we did see a successful booty bump off one of the poles before, which is hard because again, if you catch that back of the car off that angle just wrong, that sends your car down, it sends it up, it sends it in
Специально сейчас отпрыгнули от стены, потому что мы бы, получается, просто не вписались в следующие кольца, потому что у нас скорость была слишком большая.
You could do better than these guys. Get in there and try it. I challenge you.
If I can interject on that too, real quick, I want to make sure it's known that you can play these on the Epic Games version. A modification to the game, yeah, using something called Bacchus mod. You can actually download the maps through some plugins, like there's a workshop map downloader and stuff like that, which make it super simple. And there's plenty of helpful tutorials in the community for workshop maps is also super helpful with that as well. So definitely, if you're interested in doing these maps, maybe playing them with your friends, like check out the
Сейчас,
workshop
кстати,
community.
Получается, ранее рассказал о том, что, в общем, в игре есть какой-то отдельный программы, позволяющие очень легко устанавливать все карты сообщества, не через Epic Games Store.
All four of your wheels touch a surface, and then you leave without jumping. You will maintain your flip, and that 1.5 second timer doesn't matter at all. You'll keep your flip indefinitely. And so by hitting different surfaces in this, I can pick up flips and keep it as long as I want.
Важно управлять своей скоростью полета, потому что мы можем просто не вписаться в следующие кольца.
Has a timer of 1.5 seconds.
Выглядит довольно залипательно.
Falling off a surface, being bumped into the air, as long as you make it into the air without jumping off of that surface initially, you keep your jump indefinitely. And using that jump, I explained before, but it kills all vertical momentum. So if you're ever falling too fast or going up high too fast, you can use that to make sure you get back onto a trajectory that you like to go. But again, figuring out how that works and how you interact and put that into a run or even to your standard game of Rocket League can take a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of trial and error in these maps. You see a new line, so you'll test it out for a bit, see if it's faster, and then 3 days later you'll find something else faster and completely forget that old strat.
В общем, довольно залипательное зрелище. Думаю, потом я, может, поищу на ютубе 10-часовую версию.
I believe, and he does rocket science videos. He breaks down all the physics, how the car hitboxes work, how hitboxes look on each car, where the tires are in relative to the hitbox, everything you need to know and want to know. He will tell you exactly how, including how controllers affect input delay and stuff like that. Really, really cool stuff.
Комьюнити довольно серьезно получается в Rocket League, потому что там сейчас вот сообщалось, что смотрели абсолютно все боксы у машины, боксы колес. В общем, осмотрели каждую модельку, как они работают, что они делают.
When it comes to an aerial style map, but when we get to those air races, you'll really see how it can push a lot of these mechanics that we've been talking about, and a lot, not just every once in a while. You'll see those mechanics happen often.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of variety in those maps. Really showcase a lot. we're going to be doing something interesting here. I call it the Draco Pop. Draco's the one that kind of found this strategy of ramming your car into a ring.
Понизили скорость, опять же, ударившись о
We'll be using one there and also on the last level as well.
So right now, you still have your jump because you came off the surface without intentionally jumping.
I do, and I'll be using it right there to cancel the momentum and carry me in the direction I want to keep going in. That's a very tight jump to make, precise. But once you learn the line, it's not too bad to go for.
So, Blaku, did you make all of these strats and all this route yourself?
Not all of them. It's a combination of me, Draco, and Calcor. Probably about half
Calcor again.
Calcor is, he's going to be a name we're going to mention again later.
Yeah,
but, he made a lot of the ring bounces. He's super good at those. Draco has a lot of the pure flying lines. Super efficient with his flying in the air.
Кстати, довольно тоже интересная механика, что в воздухе мы можем себя немного притормаживать, если использовать нитро, ну, скажем так, по противоположной стороне от того, куда мы летим.
But this next one's just going to be a efficient flying section. Keep it tight. Don't make any mistakes.
That's easier said than done.
Do we have time for another donation?
Let's read it.
Absolutely. We got ourselves a donation from our host fan, Bruto Mello, coming in with a big money $15 donation. He said, I heard make good jumps. I see good jumps being made. Coincidence? I think not. I want to see more in Rocket League later. And later is fast approaching to be now, because we are almost approaching $15,000 remaining. We're at 984,000, about 500 and change. We need to get that up. We need to get that going, because we're not going to have much showcase left, everybody. So let's get those donations in.
And just a reminder, when we hit 1 million, we get an additional
Тем временем осталось, получается, 15 тысяч до миллиона долларов, собранных на ГДК.
And that is just pure scoring. Trust me, it is a very, very satisfying conclusion to 1 million donated.
We're coming up upon that giant ring at the end is the final ring,
and that's where the run will end. Yeah. We'll hop over to our next map.
Да, получается, завершили эту карту. Следующая карта у нас.
I do have a request from Draco. He does want me to say that he is really thankful for all that GDQ is doing.
По этой карте нам нужно, кстати, про нее я находил. В общем, нужно собрать 200, пройти через 200 чекпоинтов.
Love your favorite heart emotes out in chat right now for Draco and the family and anyone else who's gone through it. Let's keep those donos coming. Let's make sure we can fight this together.
Yeah, this run is going to be for Draco.
Причем чекпоинты будут проходить не...
Let me explain what this map is for you, because I can at least do that. While you explain what's going on, I can at least explain what this map is.
Сейчас расскажут, о чем эта карта.
This map is called Spaghetti Racing. Simple Shark, as you can see on the left side there, he does have his Twitter handle there. Simple Shark, he's a famous map maker in this community, at least to me he is. He's made a lot of fun maps and all that stuff. He made this map with the intention that it is, if you look at it, it's literally spaghetti. It's just spaghetti noodles all thrown into a dish. So
карта собрана по принципу спагетти.
At a bare minimum, 195 out of 200 checkpoints. Now, with that comes additional routing.
По идее, нам нужно просто проехать по этому всему пути и собрать все чекпоинты просто по прямой.
Blaku's gonna show you exactly how you're supposed to run it if you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you the intended way to play the map.
Но мы будем собирать их не по прямой.
Yeah, this is just madness. And Blaku, do you hold the world record on this one as well?
I do, yes.
Также по этой карте, насколько я понял, есть спидраны. То есть мы опять летаем по всей карте, собираем чекпоинты.
Holding the world record since then as well. It's a bit daunting to get into. There's a lot going on, a lot to memorize.
I think that's the biggest thing here is the memorization on this. Like, where do you,
Сейчас комментаторы рофлят над тем, что с этой картой связано довольно много воспоминаний. Так понимаю, она довольно знаменита. Кстати, взяли чекпоинт просто пролетя сквозь него под невозможным углом. Также для этой карты существует много раутов. Что он творит? Кстати, сейчас сказал, что у этих чекпоинтов есть разные хитбоксы. Через какие-то из них можно просто пролететь рядом, они возьмутся через какие-то нет. Причем от скорости тоже, насколько я понимаю сейчас. Он сказал, зависит взятие хитбокса или не взятие. Вау.
I feel like this is like you don't need to know Rocket League just to understand how insane this is, just from a memory perspective.
Что он творит?
Blaku is insanely good at memorizing. There's a maze map that was released not that long ago. He memorized every single turn you need to take and beat it in like 2 minutes because it's a very lengthy map, but he just happens to remember every single turn.
Чем это отличается от прошлого трикмании сумасшествия? Ну, более поломанной физикой получается.
The Trackmania course is how, you know, having a car smoothly land to carry momentum across. So very sad. This is the closest thing I think we're going to get to Trackmania in Rocket League, to be honest.
Oh, for sure.
Ну, в трикмании хотя бы создавалась видимость, что мы играем за машинку. А здесь, что мы играем за самолет вертикального взлета, получается. Тарелку пришельцев, я не знаю. За ракету, да.
Don't look to me for help. I have no idea.
I'm depending on you. You gotta tell me what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on. I just see lines everywhere. You're this way and that. I don't know if you've already been over to this
нужно же запомнить, какие чекпоинты ты уже брал из этих 200.
Just taking the whole thing as one piece and you know.
I have general idea of these things. Like this is the loop-de-loop. I know where this is. There's other things in the map that are more distinct, but I think it's more of the gates that I remember and the routes. But I don't know. It just comes with a lot of time getting there. Go for it.
Ну, получается, что нам нужно собрать все чекпоинты. Карта большая, чекпоинты расположены чуть ли не за каждым углом. Блин, ну вот он просто берет и получается на ровном месте.
Well, I get to read it
Блин,
again.
круто
We got
выглядит.
$15 from J. Jameson saying, "That's not Spider-Man flying through the city. That's a car. Bring me more pictures of rocket cars." So I didn't hit better the second time, but we have less than we have almost $13,000 remaining to get to 1 million.
Фотографии ракетных машин.
Ourselves $50 from Banjo. No, we have $50 for Banjo from Diana's. Saying $50 for Banjo, who is clearly a very good doggo. Yeah, Boney, your dog is very popular.
Тем временем мы собрали почти половину уже.
With a $5 donation said 50 balls, 50. I gotta see this. Oh, you're definitely gonna do it, chat. Let's get it in. And we also have B. Seamus with $5. We have B. Seamus with $5 saying.
Do it for Doggo.
Oh, absolute doggo hype. We got V. Seamus with $5 saying $5. What a save, Train. How about that? Let's get some what a saves up in chat. Let's get him up on my donations. Let's see that 1 million, everybody.
Yep. Let's get that. I mean, here, if we're gonna hit the 1 million, why not unlock a little extra Rocket League? Trust me, it is the most satisfying thing.
I was about to say, as someone who talks about Rocket League all the time, yeah, more Rocket League is never a bad thing. It's always been good.
Ну, да, запомнить вот это вот все. Блин, причем дороги расположены таким образом, что ты просто можешь... В общем, они настолько одинаковые, что невозможно понять через буквально 2 минуты на этой карте, откуда ты приехал, куда ты едешь, кто ты вообще такой.
12,000 more, let's go!
And for blaku,
тем более раннер же не едет по самой дороге, где тебе нужно, ну, просто по прямой ехать, а он еще и перемещается по всем, в общем, по всему пространству доступно, и вверх, и вниз.
Yeah, I think it was like the 22nd one. I'm gonna pick up this one right here.
Oh, yeah, of course, I know exactly which one that is.
Yeah, I mean,
ну вот что он и сделал,
we'll
по-моему,
just pick up that one, and then we're good to go. And we'll just continue on the route as everybody knows where we should be going.
Да, он одну не взял,
Oh, yes, we're going through the...
подобрал. Каким-то образом определил, что он одну из них не взял.
It was all I could think about is where am I gonna pick up this extra gate?
Yeah. Because you do have a 5-gate buffer, right?
Yes. And that is nice for small little backup strats if I happen to miss one.
То есть на карте присутствует больше чекпоинтов, чем заявлено. То есть я слышал, что цифра 5 присутствовала. То есть кроме этих 200 там еще 205 их получается.
There is a Discord that's made for learning how to do so, and Simple Shark himself, the creator of this map, has a large playlist full of how to set everything up, get everything started, and create your own stuff. And additionally, if you do make it where you want it to be speedran, definitely reach out to me as I can add that to the website and get you a leaderboard started.
Если вы хотите стать спидранером в Rocket League, типа обращайтесь к раннеру Блэку, он говорит, что поможет вам, если что. Нет, вот насколько можно понять, с той стороны, откуда подразумевалось, что идет, в общем, откуда мы стартовали, дорога идет, там все обозначено зеленым. А с противоположной красной. Но мы берем их ворота иногда с, в общем, зеленой, иногда с красной стороны, потому что хитбоксы, они, в общем, по-разному настроены. И где-то нужно именно с зеленой можно взять только, а где-то можно и с красной стороны. Поможет установить игру, да. Обходя... Что там, Epic Games, получается. Я вот не знаю, игра там платного, не платного. Тогда осуждаем, если он поможет установить в обход.
And $1 million.
The best time to make that happen, everybody, is right now. GamesDoneQuick.com donate. Go ahead and do it. Tell a friend. Let's get that million in.
Now, one thing quickly here too. Another mechanic we haven't talked about that I'm sure has been used a few times, but of course, when your wheels touch the ground and you're facing a different direction, there's a lot of traction. So you can use that for very quick turnarounds. We're seeing that a lot here. But drifting as well is another thing. You can let your car slide. Do you use that all in this map at all?
There are a couple turns that I use
Ну вот, да, в чате говорят, что понять, какие ты взял, какие нет, получается, нельзя вообще. Но это просто, получается, ранее уже на опыте. Сколько часов он потратил на тренировку всего этого, это, блин. Так, ага, что ж. Произошло. Получается, время закончилось для показа карты. Так, ну, окей, значит. Переходим к следующей карте. Ну, там всего, по-моему, 5 ворот осталось. Ну да, получается, пяток либо пропустил, либо не успел, потому что на каждую карту они, похоже, какое-то время выделили. Но опять же, сейчас будем летать по кольцам. Причем здесь уже тренировка по горизонтальному управлению, скажем так, машины в полете. Ну, опять, сейчас вот отмечают, что по мувменту, если... В общем, если в какую-то сторону поворачивать после поворота в... В общем, можно поворачиваться вокруг своей оси намного быстрее. Также я в самом начале говорил, что есть здесь в игре двойной прыжок, и, в общем, можно его... Он всего один, но чтобы его ресетнуть, нужно всеми 4 колесами коснуться абсолютно любой поверхности. То есть ранее это делал на прошлой карте с этими кольцами, ну и сейчас вот он иногда всяких поверхностей касается.
He's definitely one of the top runners of this map, and this map has gotten a little bit more traction than a lot of other maps. I'd say it's possibly more known than Dribble Challenge 2.
Ну да, шутка тут довольно странная. Здесь, кстати, мы просто пролетели. Сквозь кольца не надо было.
The map remembers how many rings you've gone through, and it keeps a count. Once he goes through those rings on the right side and just goes through and touches the checkpoint, the map also remembers
кольца мы взяли.
So when he gets reset back because he doesn't have the right amount of rings, he just goes through the rings and he missed. He dies and then automatically gets put to the next part of the level, which is
it's faster to reset.
Yeah, it's faster to reset on that specific part.
Everyone, we are less than $5,000 away from winning 1 million. Let's go!
Hey, let's do it for hard mode. Even though we got hard mode, let's do it again.
Yeah, we better get hyped for hard mode. We're coming up to it soon.
То есть, насколько я понимаю, донаты, в общем, жду. Осталось всего 5000 до миллиона. И, в общем, гол на Rocket League еще, в общем, на эту именно карту, но в хард-моде. В общем, пролетаем сквозь вот эти маленькие точки.
Yes, I did make a harder one. One that would challenge even the best player. Wanted it to be very technical, very precise in the things that you had to do, utilizing your flips well, handling your momentum, tight supersonic lines, which is something that would be a real challenge for people to try and do as we finish the regular mode.
I do want to mention real quick, you saw that he went through the tight rings instead of going up and over in the big rings.
Регуляр моде, получается, на обычной сложности.
Так, ну у нас... О!
Почти набрали миллион, осталось 200 тысяч.
Yeah, done perfectly, it saves about 7 seconds, but that's very hard, very precise.
А вот это вот как раз получается хард-версия этого уровня.
So before that, I want to know how close
Всё,
we are. We gotta
собрали.
keep that energy moving. How close are we right now, Iggy?
Gentlemen, before you start the hard mode map, let's just give it one brief moment. Just less than $100 away, everybody.
Come on, come on.
Миллион собрали.
Come on.
Everybody,
We're almost
I
there.
have an announcement to make.
What's happening?
We have reached $1 times a million. $1 million raised for the
1 million. Let's
Foundation.
go.
Thank you, everybody, so much for your generosity, for making this happen. ThundaSurge, get ready to score some goals. And Blaku, my man, this hard one is yours. Let's see it.
Хайп.
Yeah, we're gonna crush the hard mode for the $1 million. This beginning
Так, ну сейчас говорят,
actually
что
mirrored
мы
from the last
обязаны
one.
сломать этот
So
хардмод
going for fast start
ради
mode
миллиона
is,
долларов.
not really a viable thing for me. It's very weird to do.
Ну, начинается
And
все
I will
почти
be
так же,
very
как и
focused for
было,
this
но
Going through here. There's a lot of things I gotta focus on.
нас
and do
начинает
correctly.
Yeah,
ускорять
that's fair. We're still
намного
riding off the
быстрее.
hype of that 1 mil. So you use that momentum, you carry it through.
I do want to mention real quick, if you did notice, the slaloms he did at the beginning were actually reversed. Just to throw it off if anyone's used to the original map.
That get rid of the muscle memory. And another flip reset off the
Какие-то,
pole there.
получается,
And
пути
this would be so confusing for me. I wouldn't have no idea where.
повернули относительно старта.
I can
Реверсировали, я бы
imagine
сказал.
because those the actual air races that go through these two, like I just can't understand how pilots keep their heads straight.
Ударяемся об поверхности, чтобы изменить свое
I don't know if it's
положение.
as chaotic as this.
I
They
did
don't
want to
have
ask,
giant rings to go through, that's for sure.
Blaku, how long did it take for you to make this?
I'd say like 100 hours probably. It was a bit of an experiment
Так,
learning
не
how to do map
вписались
making as
чуть-чуть,
well.
окей.
So there was definitely a lot of learning going on in the process.
What I do love is those little trip ups that you see.
Look at
Just
that
to show
recovery.
how much one single mistake can mess you up and how perfect you have to be on a lot of these maps. And especially then playing these maps against other players too.
So if you notice there, he's flying directly back to the spot where he missed, because once again, this map does remember where you've left off.
Ну, опять же, сейчас
so you can
повторяю,
just skip right to the
что
part instead of having to do everything
карта
all over again.
запоминает, какие
which is
кольца ты
especially great
пустил
for
уже,
saving
то есть мы их
time,
можем просто взять
when
и
you mess up.
скипнуть.
Or,
И
right, I guess it doesn't save time when you mess up, but I mean, you don't have to.
Don't mess up.
Yeah, just don't mess up.
Look at this. Now we're wave racing. This isn't an air race anymore.
Yeah, I
You
really
ever
love
played
that
in the
section of the map.
N64?
Very satisfying to do.
Oh, and this is satisfying to watch. I love how you air roll back the other way too. His car's not doing that. He's pressing multiple buttons to get himself back and forth. Even the way his car is facing there.
вау.
Super fun.
No,
Love the mechanics in
I
this game.
do want to mention there's a couple of different ways to air roll. By that I mean you have regular air roll, which is you hold the button and use your left stick to turn or air roll left and right. And then there's two different ways, which is having air roll left and air roll right, or just one of them, whichever you prefer. I personally use only one of them, but Blaku, I believe you use both air roll left and air roll right. So
Yes, that's correct.
which gives you, I believe, a lot more control over your car in comparison to regular air roll.
В общем, сейчас
I believe
сказал,
it does. I haven't ever
получается,
used
раннер,
normal air roll.
наверное, что
Always
в
just
игре,
use the
в общем, можно
But what I mean by
есть
that is you
обычный
can still move
ворот
your car left and right
вокруг
without
своей
air
оси,
rolling,
но
and
есть, в
also air
общем,
roll at the same time, which can be
yes, true.
considered
если
a
зажать
tornado spin, is what they call it, 'cause it looks like a tornado.
одновременно и вправо, и влево поворот, то, в общем, получается, раннер верит, что это дает большую управляемость к
Right off that hype,
самому повороту.
we've hit that mill right now. I don't know if Iggy, if you want to shout out some of the people that helped us get there with those donos.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Leaf. We got plenty of donations. I want to thank many of the folks that got us there along the way. We have Evan Soares Rex with $250. They say, hey, AGDQ, Studio Tech Crew here. We're so close to 1 million. You can do it.
Wow.
Also, did you notice the nifty speaking indicators on the runners and commentators? Yes, we did.
No way.
We finally noticed it.
Did it?
Thank you, Evan, you absolute cutie.
Oh,
We also have $5.40 from Bucky J40. They say, imagine being the guy in the car with all these flips and loops going on. I would be sick in a second. Great job so far, runners. Keep up the great work. 1 million hype.
Real quick, it's an egg in the car that's driving, not a person.
If you want my lore, it absolutely is not, but we're not going to get into that. That's a rabbit hole we're not going down.
Okay, go ahead, Icky.
Yeah, let me get one more in for y'all. $100 for Rocket Plebe, saying $100 for the puppo. Thank you very much.
Ooh, shout outs to Boney's dog. Let's go, Benjo.
That's one thing.
Все еще обсуждают донаты. Собачку. Получается, нашего первого, кто показывал нам карты.
You play to those heartstrings.
No, if you notice here, there's a lot more. There's a lot more small rings coming up, and you're no longer using them as an option. It is now a necessity. You have to go through them.
We're going off script a little bit here. This is a backup strat. Same idea of picking up rings beforehand. So we're just gonna pick this stuff up, and then we'll do an intentional death later to skip that. Save a little bit of time at the end instead of flying through it again.
Блин, ну выглядит, кстати, классно. Типа вот с моей высоты в основном шутерных игр, скажем так. Выглядит прям залипательно. Не факт, чтобы я пытался это все позже повторить, типа, ну выглядит прям мое почтение.
We've already picked up the rings for the rest of it.
Сейчас сказали, что там вот мы обязательно нужно было ресетнуть, потому что просто мы не смогли погасить скорость.
The rest of the map was taken out, and that ring is painful. It's the killer of runs right there.
Кстати, коллизии на камне не было, то есть мы пролетели сквозь него.
I've speedrun this myself, and I got a sub 10-minute time, and I'm never going to run it again. I just want you to know that, Blaku. I'm never touching this again.
Try.
I highly recommend everybody try.
You want me to lose my mind?
I do. That's the goal.
Okay.
But that's hard mode. A lot more intense.
Так, ну получается, прошли его.
And with that, that is
your record on that is.
My record is just under 6 minutes.
Мировой рекорд по спидранингу этой карты, кстати, занимает, сейчас сказали, что меньше 6 минут.
Calcore, old name. Frank and Oscar always be in there, and of course my parents, always supporting me in everything I do.
That's awesome, yo. Thanks for showcasing these maps and just
так,
the
ну у
drive,
нас
the fact that
остается,
you had a map and you're like, this needs to be even harder, and you went in and you made it. It's a good example that anybody can jump in and make these maps. More maps we have in the community, the better. Arguably the harder they are, the better for you guys. I like the easy ones that make me feel good. But these were a great showcase of Blaku's incredible memory skills and air control skills. But now we need to switch things up just a little bit, Plamato. This is going to take a bit of a different turn.
Okay, so now that we've
так,
seen what we can do with
boost,
let's see what we can do without boost. And we're going to segue ourselves into what is called Lethamir's Egyptian Tomb. And the intentional way that it was meant to be played was to be played without boost at all. There are categories where people play it with boost, which are pretty fun to watch, but what's even more fun to watch is how insane ThundaSurge is going to be when he shows us how to do this with no boost. Go ahead, ThundaSurge.
Yeah, and I'm assuming I'm live, so
I'm ThundaSurge. Вот, кстати, в чате насчет выбора карт. Ну, шоу-кейсы, это же у нас, типа, показывание того, на что вообще игра способна с разных ракурсов. То есть сейчас нам просто разные аспекты, скажем так, показывают. Кстати, сейчас убрали кнопку буста, то есть за прохождение этой карты у нас вроде как не используется.
Can you quickly just refresh people what they're going to see? Because this happens fast. So what are the mechanics in Rocket League that you're going to be
Okay, so the main
То
mechanics
есть
in Rocket
каждая
League
карта
that I
нам
will be
показывала
explaining is the second and a half
какие-то
jump to flip time. So
механики.
once you jump, you have a second half to flip. You can maximize distance by delaying that flip when you have speed, so you can extend the length of your jump.
В общем,
Also, you can just quickly
с
double
двойным
jump to
прыжком и
get more height.
переворотом можно
That's not going to
увеличивать
be as much in the
длину
any percent.
своего прыжка.
Definitely,
Сейчас
whenever you touch a
сказали.
surface like a wall, as such here, you get your jump and flip back. You can jump off the wall and flip again, so we can get some height and then get some distance. We'll use that once. Wave dashes, which haven't been talked about too much, is when you flip into the ground and you gain a little bit of speed. There's one spot at the beginning we use that to keep supersonic.
В общем, карта основанная на
But for the
двойных
most part,
прыжках.
it's just
Вроде как.
make sure you land with your wheels, because if you
Сейчас
land upside
увидим.
down, you're going to keep on skidding forwards and you're not going to be able to turn for your next jump. And I'm going to let Leaf and Plum do a lot of the talking during the run, because I'm going to focus. Because there's going to be, if I mess something up, I either fall into the lava and respawn back here and have to take a checkpoint,
На карте
or
есть
I'll have to do some
лава,
type
и
of
если он
back, or,
упадет, то его
backup
сюда
strat, where I have to
назад
climb something
просто
that is different.
перекинет.
Alright, so
Так как чекпоинт находится в этом
World
зале.
record is 59 seconds. Ideally, a no death run can be anywhere from that to like a minute 20, depending on how many backups you have to do. If I get anything sub 2 minutes, I'll be
Мировой
happy,
рекорд
because
занимает,
a
получается,
death can add a lot of time. So
59 секунд без смертей этой карты.
I tried for like, I think it was 6 months ago. I hit a minute and I didn't break it, and then I was a little bit sad, and you know, it took 6 months off
Так,
on the
ну
match.
что же,
Before
давайте,
AGDQ.
погнали. Осталось сколько?
About the sub-minute. But I'm gonna go ahead and
4,5 минуты до конца шоу-кейса. Не знаю, дадут нам больше времени или нет. Вся карта в таком вот сеттинге египетском. Ну вот да, как я и думал, на карте буст не используется вообще. То есть сейчас основная механика основана на двойном прыжке. Вот сейчас мы один двойной прыжок использовали, приземлились всеми 4 колесами на любую стену, и у нас он отрезетнулся, и мы упали в лаву. То есть на карте есть какие-то чекпоинты, которые мы можем взять и вернуться к... В общем, через телепорт можем вернуться к месту, где мы уже были.
Direction your car is facing and where it's going, because once it's going, it doesn't stop going. And speaking of doesn't stop going, we're approaching the final part of this map. That's the map.
Окей, все, закончили карту за минуту 34. Карта выглядит прикольно. Кстати, заспавнили мячик нам. Тут не помню, был он или не был. По-моему, не был его.
So one of the jumps is you can land up here. I'm not going to spend too much time so we can keep the marathon moving, but I mean, like, you can land up on the pillar. There's another one called super jump, which used to be in the minute world record. That's no longer in the 59 second. You can jump from this pot and get enough height to actually make it to the area with the first checkpoint. It's like a 1 in 100 jump for me, so that's why I didn't do that one.
Сейчас показал, кстати, что можно отпрыгнуть от вот этой вот горшка и взять, получается. Вроде он сказал первый чекпоинт. То есть так-то идем мы по правой стороне, а так мы можем отпрыгнуть от вот этого горшочка. Следующее.
This one almost to me feels like traditional speedrunning because like you're going to be doing stuff that I'm like, oh, when I watch someone speedrunning and
Здесь мы опять биндим себе буст на геймпад. Нужно как-то сбежать из карты быстро. В общем, сбежать с карты нужно.
And every code is predetermined except for one code, and that's one that we're never going to have to worry about. So go ahead.
Yep, I'll go ahead. And since there's a lot of extra interactions in this map, he had to bind something so you can like open doors. So if you press.
То есть это карта с загадками.
In this map, it will actually let you do things that are custom to this map only. And what I did there was enter the code to the locker to grab a battery. You can see the icon on the bottom.
В общем, это у нас карта, основанная на прохождении разных логических загадок, но мы все эти коды уже знаем, то просто проходим, подбираем разные предметики. В общем, используем десварпы, чтобы сократить себе путь. Собираем разные батарейки. Кстати, если, может, заметили, мы кладем их в какую-то стоящую вот эту штуку. Сейчас пошутили, что эта машина очень-очень сильная, раз может таскать коробки больше нее, типа. По-моему, мы клипнулись сквозь. Ага. С помощью вот этого ящика мы клипнулись сквозь ворота. И сейчас мы управляем вот этим вот шариком, который на заднем плане. И чем-то напоминает со стороны, в общем, был такой мини-уровень, наверное, в Duke Nukem какого, 11-го, по-моему, года, ну, последнем, с управляемой машинкой. Hope you guys have an incredible run. So proud of you guys for making it into GDQ. Is there still time for that?
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, I think we got a few of flip resets actually. I think there's a couple of throughout the different runs there.
More generosity, let's go.
Управляем шариком. Вот сейчас мы открыли справа стену, нажав на кнопку мячиком.
A two-dimensional maze puzzle with your car and your inputs. So some of these workshop creators are getting so creative. And again, there's so many people to shout out, but it's just crazy what they're coming up with.
Yeah, and this is one of the more unique concepts. It's the only one of its kind right now.
Кстати, игра открывается довольно интересной стороны, потому что это такой мини, не знаю, легенький боши, наверное, экспириенс какой-то, ну, не боши, наверное, Марио экспириенс. Прошли загадку. Нам заспавнился этот шарик, и мы его должны протащить в конец уровня. Ну и вот мы, собственно, для чего забиндили буст. Протаскиваем шарик до конца, и это у нас получается конец уровня.
Yes, that's a very important part of it. So everybody loves Octane, think it's the best car. This map, nope.
Клип, кстати, сквозь ворота на этой карте работает только с этой машиной, потому что хитбокс у машины он другой, чем у других. Так. Собственно, вот вся карта была.
Fun fact, before I leave, I did notice this when I was testing it the other day. If I can get the camera working. I don't know if I can. There's actually 3 other Supersonic Legend badges hidden in the ceiling.
Chaos?
Supersonic Legend.
Ranked Chaos confirmed?
I can't get a good angle on it.
I saw for a second. It was up there.
There's like a white pixel on there, but there's 3 of them. I somehow had a better angle.
В общем, раннер, когда тренил эту карту, он заметил, что в общем есть какая-то пасхалка в карте. Так, ну по времени мы уже ушли за Overestimate. За Estimate ушли. Получается. Так, следующая карта у нас.
With a $25 donation, said watching Rocket League, and I thought this was about cars playing soccer, and I'm getting an amazing flight simulator.
Ага. То есть на этой карте нам нужно забить все мячи, получается.
Got Nova Bear with a $150 donation. They said had to donate during Rocket League, which is my most played game ever, with a few thousand hours invested. Hopefully many more hours to come. Let's get that incentive. We did, and we shall. So ThundaSurge, it's all yours, my friend.
Okay, so as you can see, this is not normal training.
То есть сейчас это у нас нормальная тренировка обычно.
Any console can play this speedrun. It's not PC exclusive since it's a training pack. If you can get the code, it should be out there online if you just search for it. I know Rocket Sledge, shout out to him. He had done a competition for this in August where he had a prize for it, and that's where I found the map, through his channel. So he introduced this map to me, and now it's in GDQ.
And I'm what's the goal here? It seems it's very confused. What are we supposed to do?
So you're supposed to hit these balls into this net right here, not the one, but the orange one. And there's one glitch with the map because you're not supposed to have 50 balls. If you put a ball in the net and you don't touch it, it doesn't explode like it's supposed to. And if you touch it inside the net, it glitches out the game and makes a really loud sound. So you don't want to do that.
Сейчас показал довольно интересный глич, что, в общем, если мы не коснулись мяча, то он у нас не засчитывается в ворота. А если коснуться этого мяча, который уже успел пролететь в ворота, то у нас игра немного багается.
I was about to say, if you didn't go over it, yeah, there's plenty of ideas on how to do this. Thunda and King Solely were probably the only ones that really...
Ну, сейчас по контексту я понимаю, что это у нас вроде как карта из туториала, вроде из практики какой-то.
But obviously the trick is out there, and you get to hear the explosions of ball scoring.
Oh, it's just so satisfying.
Yeah.
Причем вот мы начинаем катить мячи, а они продолжают. В общем, у них физики, я так понимаю, ну, примерно как и у машины. Она вроде есть, но... Сгоняем все шары в ворота.
Scoring in Rocket League is one of the greatest things I think is out there. Yeah, no, I could say it's probably the greatest thing.
Ну, да, получается, показывают на шоу-кейсе то вообще, на что способна игра. То есть цель не похвастаться своим там мега-мега скиллом, чтоб тебе там, ну, не знаю, сказали, вот, чел, ты мега хорош. Но, в общем, на что показывают, на что способна игра, чтобы зацепить новых игроков. И у нас все. Это были все карты, получается, что нам приготовили.
That was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, what I love about that, you said it too. Anybody can get that one there. So if you guys think that you're like, oh, that was sloppy, go beat the timer. Yeah. Go get that. Any of these maps too, if you have the ability to get them, get on them.
Вышли за Estimate, кстати. Рассчитывал, что за 58 минут должны уложиться. Почти в 10 минут мы перешагнули его, скажем так.
A dedicated, passionate community can make. Thunda, so thanks for showcasing those off.
Yep, and then I want to do one last shout out. Draco, he's my co-op speedrun buddy for Egyptian Tomb. So we do 100% co-op where you collect all 30 onks. Unfortunately, I didn't get to show that off, but maybe next time, you never know.
Ну, кстати, насколько я еще понял, что эти карты нам показывали именно спидранеры, которые на лидерборде. По этим картам есть.
There's always new maps coming, like at least once a month. Well, multiple times a month.
Ну, собственно, да, так оно и есть. То есть я сейчас борду смотрю.
There's lots of different things to try. There's lots of different runs. There's lots of also amazing people in the community. Once again, there's a workshop map community. Balance Waffle, he has a Discord full of it. You can find friends, play online with them, and plenty of tutorials on how to help you do that.
Проходите, в общем, на Discord Rocket League. Спидранов там легко можно найти, с кем поиграть, во что поиграть, карты какие-то проходить. Если что помогут. Освоиться, скажем так.
And shout outs again to the speedrunning community. We have so many different communities in Rocket League in general, as I mentioned before, freestyle community, the competitive community, the casual community. You got your content creation community, trading community. There's so many different communities in Rocket League, and being able to showcase the speedrunning one on a stage like this, AGDQ is awesome. So shout out to Blamedo for, again, making sure people have a home for this stuff to go to, and for AGDQ for having this here.
Appreciate you.
Сейчас говорят, что в комьюнити Rocket League собрано довольно много разных людей. Присоединяйтесь к этому комьюнити.
To raise money for Prevent Cancer Foundation, and you guys are doing a wonderful job of it. So thanks to AGDQ for having Rocket League in the first place on behalf of everyone in Rocket League. It's been a
донат
blast,
сейчас
and everyone that's just supporting.
Со всякими благодарностями зачитывают.
Iggy, I think we're done unless Thunda has another thing to say there, because he's just sitting there.
I do have one thing to say. If nobody said it, chat, you look really cute today. If no one said that yet, everyone of
they
you.
really do, don't they?
Very, very cute in chat.
Well, with that,
that's all I have.
Thank you for everyone that's helped us celebrate what the community is making here in Rocket League. It's continued to go strong. It was a blast to be here. Iggy, thanks for having us here.